Hello there, it's Ashante, aka Plant-Based Tay, and we're coming at you with another recipe today. So today we are going to make a Cajun boil. As you can see, there's a lot going on up here, but that's okay. Don't let it intimidate you because this recipe is so fun and literally you cannot mess it up at all whatsoever. This is one of my most favorite dishes to make, especially when I'm having company because they be tearing this down. So we letting our pan get nice and hot, right? And I'm gonna turn it down just a drizzle. And we're gonna add a lot of vegan butter to this pan, okay? So I have 3 sticks of vegan butter here. This is not the healthiest recipe, so please don't associate plant-based recipes and vegan recipes with health because some of these recipes are extremely unhealthy. So we're gonna melt down 3 sticks of vegan butter. This brand that I'm using in particular is my most favorite because it smells the most like real butter and it tastes the most like real butter. And it doesn't leave a weird aftertaste. Like some vegan butters leave a weird aftertaste. This one right here is top tier. Once we get this melted down, we are going to add lots and lots of onion and garlic, okay? So this is about 1.5 large onions, and please add a lot. You really want to develop a lot of flavor with this dish. And also, onion cooks down very, 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 very small when it's cooked thoroughly. So you want to make sure you have enough in there so that when it does cook down, it's still enough onion. So definitely use more than you think you'll need because it's going to shrink a lot. I'm going to stir this up. And remember, we're making a Cajun boil, so you definitely want it to be very saucy and very satisfying. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just breaking up the onion. Okay. And next we're gonna add a lot of fresh garlic. I think I chopped up about 7 or 8 cloves, but honestly, if you wanna use a whole head of garlic, by all means do that because yes, the garlickier, the better. And I recommend using fresh ingredients for this because it just comes out much better. You can buy the pre-minced garlic if you want, but fresh garlic is the most flavorful. So we've added our garlic. Now we're mixing it in. And it smells so good already. So we're gonna let this cook down for a couple of minutes. And then once the onion and the garlic becomes translucent, then we'll start to add our spices. Okay, so our onions and our garlic have slightly browned. They're nice and translucent. So now we're about to add the spices. And of course, before we add the spices, we're gonna turn the heat down just a little bit because we don't want to burn the spices. We kind of just want them to toast a little bit. All right, tons going on here. First up, we have some Old Bay seasoning, and you kind of just want to sprinkle enough of this over the top because that's going to be your main basis of the flavor. Then we're going to put in some chili powder. Some smoked paprika. I like to use a lot of smoked paprika because I like the smoky flavor of it. And this helps to add like smokiness and color. Next is some garlic powder. Some onion powder. And with this recipe, I literally don't even measure the seasonings. I just kind of do it until my ancestors tell me to stop. You cannot mess this up at all. Now when it comes to the thyme, you want to just add a little bit because dried thyme is very pungent. So not too much of that. Lots of dried parsley. Some black pepper. Then we have some Cajun seasoning. Then we're going to add a little bit of extra cayenne because we want it spicy. Just a little bit of teriyaki sauce. I like to get the low sodium teriyaki sauce because you don't want this to be too salty. So a quick drizzle of that. Low sodium soy sauce. If you're not a fan of soy, you can use the coconut aminos. Put some of that in there. And what that does is add that depth and that umami flavor that we crave as plant-based dieters. Frank's Red Hot. And then my favorite secret ingredient, the no chicken base. And again, notice how we did not use salt, only because the spice blends have salt in them. All right, so pretty much the sauce is done. And what I'm going to do is give it a quick taste just to make sure I don't need to add anything else before the next step. Needs more spice. Some cayenne and some more chili powder. Okay, so I've already chopped up some fresh corn, and I recommend using fresh corn. Please do not use frozen corn. It's just not the same. It doesn't flavor the sauce the same. Go the extra mile and use the fresh ingredients. So what I'm going to do now is place some fresh corn in here. And you typically see with boils, they cook everything kind of separately and then use this sauce on the side. But remember, we're plant-based dieters. We need to develop flavor every single step of the way. So we are going to cook our veggies in the sauce. I'm going to turn this down a little bit more so that it doesn't burn while I'm adding all of this. And I don't want to overcrowd the pan because we have a lot to add in here. So I might actually make 2 batches. All right, so I have some plant-based sausages here. And literally with these sausages, we're just going to cut them into 3s and throw them in a pot. These in particular are a bratwurst, am I saying that right? Type of sausage, but you can use any type. I've used Chipotle sausages before, basic smoky sausages before. So literally just go with whatever mood you're having that day. Okay, That's enough of those. And then we're going to add in some red potatoes. So with the red potatoes, I'm just going to go through and kind of cut them in half so that it cooks a little faster and so that it absorbs a little more of the flavor. And we're going to add these in. Any ugly spots, we're going to just cut them off. Oh, this one is rotten. And I like to add a lot of potatoes because obviously that's going to be the part that fills you up the most. So if you want to get full, add lots of potatoes. All right, so we have just about everything in the pan that needs to go in for now. The Brussels sprouts, I'll explain. And then we're going to add some fresh lime juice. You can use lemon if you want, but for me, limes just taste better. And you want to juice an entire lime. That's one half, the second half. A great thing about this recipe is that you can also put it in the oven. So you could literally throw all the seasonings, all the butter, all the veggies, the sausage in a big pan and throw it in the oven, and it's that much easier. All right, now that we've done that, we are now going to add water just to cover the top and to kind of dilute the salt, because we used a lot of soy sauce, a lot of Old Bay, a lot of the Cajun seasoning, and we want to kind of dilute that a little bit. So we're going to add some water to help cook it, but it'll also dilute the salt. All right, got some water here. And you want to put enough in there just to cover everything. Stir it up just a little. Then we're going to crank the heat back up a little bit and let this cook for about 20 minutes or until the potatoes are fork tender, because the corn and the sausage is going to cook pretty fast. Okay, that sizzle, that bubble. Woo! And it's attacking me. So the potatoes are fork tender now. So I'm going to put the Brussels sprouts on the top so that way they steam a little bit. You don't have to do this. You can literally omit this, or you can do broccoli instead, but it's something about the Brussels sprouts that gives it such a good flavor. And being that I get these really large Brussels sprouts, they kind of hold up in the sauce as well. So we're going to just pop all of these in. And we're going to let them steam for about 7 to 10 minutes or so. And then after that, it'll be almost time to eat. Okay, this has been going for a total of about 25 minutes. And it is all done. The Brussels sprouts have gotten tender. And it's time to plate up. So, you can dress this any way you want. You don't have to dress it at all. But me, I like to dress it up a little. So I'm going to grab me a Brussels sprout, some corn, a potato, a sausage, and some of that sauce. We're going to pick up some of those onions that have gone to the bottom. And what I like to do is put some vegan Parmesan on top. Extra layer of flavor. Some fresh squeezed lime. Smoked paprika. And a little bit of parsley flake. And it is now time to taste. Ooh. Listen here. It's really hot. But it is so flavorful. The perfect balance between salty, spicy, and you definitely want to let it cool a little bit before you take a bite like I did. But it's so good. And literally, this will probably be the best boil sauce that you've ever tried. I want to get a bite of this sausage. This super easy recipe can be done both in the oven and stovetop. Either way you do it, it is going to be a crowd favorite. My family, my friends, they all love this. Like literally, if I could make this every day, they would ask me to make this every single day. And that concludes today's video. So just be sure to like, comment, subscribe, leave some comments, let me know what else you want to see. And until next time.